Thank you very much. Okay, the introduction of mine and what I'm going to speak today is, I think it's far away, but anyway, the talk today is, I'm looking at how space science can come into community rather than looking into the detailed aspect of the research. Because I believe the introduction to the community is much more important for the research to actually grow. I think overall in Malaysia, we having difficulty in getting students who are really interested deep into space science in terms of research currently. Not to be blame anybody in this, because are we really introducing space science early enough in everyone's mind in this country? So that's what we're going to look at today. So when we said about community, what are we really looking at? What is the entity of the community? So here I have actually listed out as much as possible. It's everybody. It's not government. It's not the school. It's not the institution alone. If you look at here, it's officers, government, hospital, pool, parks, commerce, library, TV, radio, newsletters, museum, theater, industry, and everyone has to come together in even fitness center, you know. So they, everyone has to do a part. They have to play a role in actually introducing the technology itself. For us, like, I remember when I was in school 30 years, 35 years ago, what we learned is just the basic, sun and the solar system. And that's it. I don't remember anything that in secondary school. In my physics, we had so much to learn, even in STPM. I have like 7 books to read, but none of the book touches even a little on space science. So how do we actually expect students who are coming into the higher education to grow the knowledge or interest in space science? So early introduction and knowing something early. Everyone in Malaysia likes to be a doctor. Why? Because the very first person other than our parents we meet in our life is doctors, nurses, and this hospital environment. When I'm sick, I go to the hospital, a clinic. So these are the people, I know they are being kind to me, I am being treated, you know, I'm getting well, and I feel comfortable, and I want to be a doctor or nurse. Same thing goes to teachers. If we go to school and ask, what do you want to be? Many of them want to be teachers, because this is the next introduction. So introducing early to someone on a knowledge is very, very important. Not alone introduction, the next is the right introduction. How do we introduce the knowledge? I have my personal experience in the last 20 years in education. IT was not, or computer science was not well introduced in this country. Students have fear towards computer science. They are scared to go into computer science. So this is how the introduction of the new technology or new knowledge in our country. We got to be careful when we introduce. Here I put as, okay, early start. How do I start early when in terms of, yeah. Let us listen to this as a break at 12 o'clock. See, when we have programs like this, we don't have it in our language. Yeah? We don't have it in Bahasa Melayu. So when I've been talking to schools for the last 2 years, try to introduce such things to students. My son has at least listened to this song 100 times, or more than that. Every time he plays this, he will listen at least 5 to 10 times, continuously. So that's how much it actually interests the kid. And if you ask him today, he can explain what is solar system all about, how many planets, what are the planets, which planet has got moon, which planet has how many moons, and so on. And many kids, in the same school environment, they are able to. So these are the things this is how an early introduction should start. We get this to them very informally, in a fun way, where they actually find it very interesting. Yeah, in fact, the wordings is there. The ones who can read, they can read. And this is how it goes into them very slowly. The next is make it fun and informative. When they move a little higher, how can we make them start digesting? I saw that just now put in all those our syllabus, and why do we think our kids at primary school can't understand that? I think if we prepare them early enough, they can do that. They definitely can do that. And Datuk's dream on a higher order thinking, I think that's definitely possible to be implemented, well implemented in this country. And when we definitely can create early thinkers who are looking into the high technology and high science. If you look at this, there would be an extension of that just now. When the kids look at this again and again, that's where actually they look at one time in school possible, they go back and they look at it again and again, they do revision in this way. I think any child will be very much interested. And the variety and so on, how can we actually like clockwise, anti-clockwise. It's not only introducing the space, but part of it, they're also learning other things. So this would be the way to introduce. But the only obstacle I think that we have currently is the language. But it's not too bad. We can definitely use this material, and then we have more discussion in classroom and so on with the kids. And I have the last one here, be explorative in approach. This is where we start actually being serious with them. We start exploring. It's not only with the kids. I think this part of it is tough to be done in school environment. I've discussed with the teachers many times, but this is where the community start coming in. Parents as to play the role. NGOs in the country has to play the role. Government has to play the role. And industries need to be invited to participate and be with us in exercising the exploratory part of it. If we look at, this is Canada, how they actually Okay, so we could see how the introduction started, and then they bring little of history, and then they actually compared how the big telescope and the small telescope work and how to make it. So this actually give a lot of chance for the students to really feel it, experience it, understand it, and bring very close to them the technology. So this is some of the approach I think we seriously need to look into. It's not expensive. I calculated the cost for this. It's less than 12 ringgit. Because we just need to get that lens. In fact, we can buy the magnifying glass, 2-piece, and then we buy it in a, in a big quantity from China. It's like very cheap now. So these are the approach I think lacking in our setting at the moment, and we really need to look into areas like this to introduce to the kids in a better way. All right, so now community preparation towards space science. That's formal education and informal education. Okay, government here we are looking at both. They have to play a role in both formal and informal. Formal, of course, in the school setting, syllabus, and so on. Whereas the informal part of it is like putting a part of it in museum or in places where we have petroscience, but it's like how many % of our community really go to petroscience or planetarium? I see more foreigners in this place than local. When every time I go visiting and so on, especially petroscience, it's far more foreigners who visit this center rather than Malaysian ourselves. So are we reaching the community? How can I do it? Can I put it in a place where it's less expensive, or part of museum, or part of where people actually be, community centers, or even shopping complex, we have corners, and so on. And of course, today's parents, they're willing to invest. They have the fund. It's no more like parents think twice to invest. So when the introduction is there, I think the parents are indirectly forced to invest because the kids will be interested. They will be requesting for it. And this is how the investment actually comes in. As a parent, I myself, when my son is interested in certain things, I am forced to invest. And how do the interest creates? It's by observing. When he goes somewhere and he gets exposed to that technology, and he got interested, and he said, okay, I need this. Then the investment come in. So we really need to look at how can we government investment to go into this informal education. Formal education, yes, it is there. But now the informal has to play the role to create the interest among the children. So this is a very crucial thing that we got to look into if we want Malaysians to think positive. And why? Next slide. This, okay, another one, role of media. Okay, role of media, I'm looking at here a magazine or a write-up. I liked ANGKASA's, I think they are the role players here. I saw NASA television, then I thought, okay, we should have an AAN television series or something, that weekly or monthly program or weekly program, so that we can continuously introduce and stimulate the community. It's not focused only to children, but it's all range, should be interested, because the parents have to have some understanding. If the child go and ask them what is sun, and they say, okay, it's there, it doesn't work. So they need to have that knowledge, and they need to participate with the child in leveraging the knowledge itself. And also some like this focal sinar teruja phenomena, gerhana bulan penuh, and all this, how much people really understand what full moon and what is gerhana, or eclipse, and all those things. More introduction, more exposure need to play by the media. Of course, internet is a very good source, but our community, only 20-25% actually able to capture it from internet. 75% yet to really capture this type of knowledge from internet. We are still very far. We are very good in Facebook. We are very good in Twitter. We are good in all these social media, but not the knowledge media. So we really need to look at what's the right way to bring the community into this now. As what I mentioned earlier, industry, I brought in two. Solar energy is one of the, how to attract, because now if this knowledge and technology is not bringing money, we will not take it up today. I bet with you in 3 years time nobody will take medicine in Malaysia. They will drop because the number of vacancies in the country has dropped, and also it's becoming more challenging. If you look at back in the 80s when I was doing my STPM, everybody wanted to do law. Today you don't hear that so much because it is not so competitive, or I can't make money from that industry. So if we want to introduce space science technology in Malaysia, we need to look at how can they make money or where they can get jobs in this industry. One of it definitely is solar energy. Right? So students today in engineering, for example, they have dropped their interest, like what Dato said just now, STEM. Science, I agree with Dato. In 2011, I visited 80 schools in Vilaya and Kuala Lumpur, secondary schools. I did data collection, tingkatan 4 dan 5, Form 4 and Form 5 students, and 20% only interested in science. 80% interested in arts and performing arts. In fact, performing arts is more than arts. They all interested in performing arts, So it is a fact. I still have the data. It's in my room, in my box. I've collected the data. I've done the seminar kerjaya, and we tried so much, but it is very, very challenging because the Academy Fantasia is more famous than Academy ANGKASA. Unfortunately, they are more, they have better coverage than us. Agency and institute cannot do the job, but they are doing the job very well. So we got to show the parents, if your kids take up this technology, engineering in the different scope, they can make money. So solar energy is one industry that we got to bring together to this, because they need the knowledge anyway. The knowledge is important. Next industry is global warming. It's a big entrepreneur scope, because we need to think green here. So, and this is new. Anything new, the industries are not established. This is where the entrepreneurs can go in. You come up with, you are a PhD, you are a master's, you do your research, you have your findings, you go out, you implement to the society, and you become an entrepreneur. You start something new, something small business, which one day will become huge. So if we want to start, and we in the right part of the globe, we are in the equatorial, which we really need this. I'm very warm, I'm now buying my clothes from India and Pakistan, no more from Malaysia. The cotton in Malaysia is not supporting the weather. So we're getting cotton from India and Pakistan now, and Bangladesh, which we feel more comfortable with the extra warm that we have now. So this is where the industry has to come in. So when we talk about global warming, we need new solutions. We need to look into it very detailed, very careful, what exactly is needed. And the scope is actually big in the housing industry, in our current houses, especially our window is not good for the current weather. We all are cooked at night in the house. And this is bad for your vessel. Coming back to my biomedical engineering, bad for your vessel. Your vessels are actually stressed when your house is warm. They are stressed unnecessarily, especially when you are sleeping. It's supposed to be relaxed. It is not. When you put aircon, actually you are doing extra damage to it. You are not saving it. You are doing extra damage to it. You imagine something going like like that. It was enlarged because of the heat, and suddenly you put aircon and they are compressed, so they become hardened even quicker than it's supposed to. So you will age very much faster than what you're supposed to. Then you are prone to cardiovascular disease. Yeah, we need to have the ventilation at home. Though currently our windows, we need to really look in. Even I was thinking, my mom's house is very much cooler. Then I was thinking, because she still maintained this window, and all of us has removed and throw away those windows and put nice glass and seal it and put grill on top, and no opening. I'm so scared of thief, and keep it safe. But are we keeping our health safe? So these are the things. So you now got to come up with a window which has got good safety, good ventilation. And a new need is there. So, this is where actually multidisciplinary research is all about. When we do space science research, we don't keep our mind only to the moon and the sun and the ionosphere and the troposphere and so on. But we need to look at how can I apply my findings to other things. So it is very crucial. I think if we introduce these well, we can attract the youngsters. We'll be very successful, because the youngsters today, they don't like to work. Maybe it's out of topic a little bit, why they don't like to work. I'm currently doing this research also with Dato. Why the youngsters are unemployed, 13% in Malaysia, graduate unemployment is 13%, very high for a country like us. Because the employers in Malaysia thinking we are, the right word, I want to be harsh, I would say they think we are coolies. We are no more. We are not slaves, okay? Because they are so used to these foreign workers, they think we should work around the clock like them. 12 hours for engineers, if you are working 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, it should be out of your own interest, not because the company wants you to do so. So if you want to work out of your own interest, then it should be an entrepreneur. Right? This is the reason why they don't stay in an industry for long. So this is a new, opening. Global warming is a huge thing, and we need to prepare ourselves with many other needs. So let's look into this. I hope if we have teachers here to introduce this early to your children and saying that this is a new scope of job, and we can look at many things, especially recycle, blended with global warming and pink, green, and so on. So many new things we can come up with, and this will really help our industry to grow in a new direction. Our youngsters have new challenges, and this will bring many new things for us. And do not complain. In Malaysia, we always say that, oh, we don't have this. We actually have many resources. So how do we really do it? So now, I think, since Encik Fairuz is here, Zahira is here, I think I should request to them, AAN should play a bigger role here. How can we bring the industries, the community, to play a role in space science? I think I'm done. Yes. Thank you. Any questions for me?
Thank you, Dr. Kalai, for such an informative talk. Interesting topic. So now the floor is open for question and answer session. Anyone who has a question, please